Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. It's coming through. Do 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 do. It's a love morning for you. Do 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 do. Shooby doo dooby doo. Do 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 do. And when we're through, do 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 do. I know that you'll know what to do. Do 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 do. Because you'll feel it in your bones, dun, 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 like you are wearing a throne. Dun, 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 dun. And that's why we share gratitude. That's why we lift our attitude. And that's why we have a love morning together. Do, 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 do. Oh, what a fun song that was. Not sure if anybody heard it, but good morning. Welcome to Love Morning. I'm John. We are live on YouTube and on Facebook. So if you hear me say something that I go, who said that? Who's he responding to? It could be our brethren from another social media. We're all connected. Hi, Lori. Good morning. Hello, Christopher. Good morning. If you are here, say hello so that we know that we are sharing this experience with like-minded, open-hearted people like you. Oh, it's spring! Yay! So I'm going to start my gratitude with spring. Oh, I had some spring experiences since yesterday. This morning I went for a walk around the neighborhood and just was like noticing all the budding leaves. Oh my gosh. I love spring so much that I actually have to fight back oh no, what am I going to do when spring's over? I don't like it when it gets hot. Like, no, dude, what are you doing? Be present. Enjoy the spring. It's like, while having sex, being like, oh man, I'm not going to be having sex later. Dude, you're having sex now. I'm having spring now. Just kind of like, spring is kind of the sex of the year, right? Winter is the sleeping, spring is the sex. Summer is the sweating work in the warehouse or in the coal mine. And fall is cocktails and dinner after work. That actually kind of works. I'm gonna hold to that. The the life cycle of the year. Okay. Good morning. I'm in a good mood today. I have already written a whole bunch this morning, and that always feels good when I kind of articulate some thoughts and put things down and commit things to writing. And in addition to this morning walking around the neighborhood and noticing the flowers and the budding leaves, yesterday I went to my old childhood canyon that I used to play in. So I'm so grateful I got to go play in Rose Canyon, San Clemente Canyon, by my parents. I visited my folks just for a brief visit, and then had when I went, it was pouring rain, so I had my rain slicker and my rain boots. And by the time I got to the canyon, though, the rain had stopped. I'm still glad I had my rain boots and everything because there's a lot of poison ivy and poison oak. But the little bitty creek in the canyon was raging. So I went and hung out by the river for a while. And it was really beautiful just to see how green the canyon is from all the rain, which is, rare in San Diego. And then to see the rushing water, oh, it's thrilling. So feeling very grateful for springtime and this visceral experiences of spring that I've had over the last 24 hours. Man, so much more has been coming up for me too, and I'll try to get into that later. I've been just filled with epiphanies and thoughts and have wisdom shared with me, and so woo-wee, big stuff right now. Which started, I think, with yesterday's Love Morning. So if you were here yesterday, thank you so much for that beautiful outpouring of support and love and emotion. It was really a powerful experience for me. And I think really kicked me into, I don't know, I'm still in this really powerful place. I think maybe, it's a vacillation. Is that the right word? The up and downs. So A few days ago I was not feeling so good. I got to keep remembering that this growth stuff isn't linear. I think that's what Natasha said yesterday. Natasha says today, good morning. I'm so grateful for my dogs, knowing when I'm not feeling well, snuggling up on me and my kiddo, getting herself ready for school, all on her own. Yay. I'm so sorry you're not feeling well. Yes, there's lots of puddles for splashing. In fact, I had to be careful not to go. I did put my feet into my rubber boots into the edge of the stream, but it was rushing water. I definitely had to be careful. Too powerful, which is an awesome feeling too, to be next to water that is so powerful. Hi, Lori. Lori says she saw the photo. Yes, I put one photo this morning, and then I put a little video in my stories yesterday of me and my rubber rain slicker. Good morning, Brent. Good morning, Faith. Faith is grateful for the gorgeous weather today, sending love from Key West. Brandy is here, who once deliberately put poison ivy in your eye. Yikes. What are you grateful for? Ashley is here. Good morning. Ashley is so grateful for spring too in upstate New York, and we hit 50 degrees today. Working now, but excited to get out soon. Al is here. Good morning, and happy to hear that I'm in a place of power. Thank you. Yes. I love that raincoat. I've had that raincoat for probably 20 years, maybe more. No. I have a picture of me at my first Burning Man wearing that yellow coat. So I've had that burn for 25 years at least. Good morning, Meredith. Meredith is grateful for travel and being about to experience other cultures and people. Ooh, where are you going? Good morning, David. David is grateful for lovely friends who had us over for a delicious dinner last night. Yum! What'd you eat? Brandy is grateful to be here again. Well, welcome back. Welcome, everyone. This is Love Morning, a chance to share what we are grateful for, to be connected by like-minded, open-hearted people, and maybe to remind ourselves of maybe the direction that we want to head today. And you might have something different. You might have a big meeting today. So you know what? Today I'm going to be calm and firm, so that when you get into that meeting, you already prepared to be the person that you want to be. But in general, if you're not sure, I'd say let's make it about seeking connection, seeking opportunities for kindness, seeking things to be grateful for. Kindness, connection, gratitude. Those are like the baseline. When in doubt, kindness, connection, gratitude. Ooh, Meredith just got back from Jordan. How very cool. Ashley truly helped kick into gear. So grateful to have found my content. Yay! Inspired to go pick up your home yoga practice again. Grateful for that as well. Rock on. I am trying to get motivated to do my yoga. I've been doing a little bit of stretching, a little bit of yoga, but I'd say like 5 minutes. I know I would feel better if I did more yoga. So thank you for that inspiration. Okay, a couple of things that I'm going to share about one of the reasons why I'm feeling encouraged is I noticed several things yesterday that I'm doing better in the things that I'm trying to do. Examples. Some of the things I'm trying to do is trying to do body check in, like when things are happening, instead of like go, what am I feeling in this moment? And the other thing I'm trying to do is trying to be courageous, trying to, if I have an anxiety feeling, recognize it and then act anyways. And I've had a few times, I've definitely had a number. I can think of 4 times in the last 24 hours when I had really kind of significant triggering things, and I was able to go and really, what am I feeling? And just the process of doing that is decreasing my reaction to it, Like, as I wrote something that I didn't want to make public, but I thought I would share it with my Patreon patrons. And then, so I just shared it with my Patreon patrons. By the way, I have a Patreon if you want to support me and get a little access to a little extra stuff. patreon.com/Halcyon. And so I published something yesterday to my patrons, figuring because it's not that many people, kind of inner circle. And then I woke up yesterday morning. I was like, oh, wait a minute. The one person that I don't want to read that is a patron. Shit. I'm going to say don't want to. My former partner, I'm still very connected to and in love with, and I'm still in contact with because she is very brilliant and insightful and wise. But I mentioned some things about our relationship in it that I just, I didn't want to make public. Didn't want to. So that's why it was semi-public, semi-private in the patrons. But it wasn't bad either. I mean, I thanked her and gave her credit for the firm message that she gave me and how. But anyway, so I woke up in the morning going like, oh my gosh, what was I thinking? Like, we're blocked on Facebook. I blocked her on Facebook so that I could just like concentrate better. But I did publish it in the one place that she is still connected to me, in that. And so I just woke up like, oh fuck, and I was just going like, and I was able to sit and feel. First, I quickly deleted the one paragraph that just made me feel like, maybe I shouldn't have said that. But then I was sitting with that feeling of like, oh my gosh, it sends announcements out to my patrons when I write something new. So she could have already read it. And I started thinking about, what is she thinking? And I'm like, wait a minute, this is my growth area. I'm overly obsessed with what people think. I'm obsessed about making people upset and having them judge me or, and so I'm like, okay, let's just like sit with this and go, okay, what am I feeling? Now, and as I sat with the actual physical sensation, I tuned in a way that I never have before. I know I don't like that feeling, and that's why it's like, ugh. But I tuned into it, and I felt like a little flip-floppy in my stomach, but there was this pretty distinct feeling of like energy flowing up through the front of my face, through my jaw. And it didn't feel good. It was like unsettling, but it was very like, I could sense where it was. And so like for the first time after having this anxiety feeling my whole life, I could actually notice what I was feeling. And I think that's what I'm supposed to be doing right now. I think that's what this chapter of my growth and working with 2 somatic therapists and doing the breath work and the readings and the affirmations, all that, I think, and the meditations, I'm trying to be able to be aware, notice, observe, so that, because then as I felt it, I'm like, oh, this is unpleasant, but it's not terrible. It's not so bad that I can't stand it. So why am I so, like, oh, it's just unpleasant. So then I could be, okay, this is unpleasant. But if I think about it, I actually need to care less about what she thinks. I didn't write anything bad. Now, is it possible that she could read about this chapter and it caused her some feelings? Sure. But so what? Like, I'm allowed to do things that cause other people to have feelings if I'm being in integrity, if I'm being honest and authentic. So I'm like, okay, all right. So then I didn't, my first thought was I need to wake up, I need to change it, and I need to write her and say, hey, I'm sorry about that. And I didn't. So now I did talk to her later, but not because I felt like I needed to apologize. So that was good. I also chose to go to a meeting last night with a place I've never been, people I've never met, which is normally would be a quite anxiety producing for me. And as I drove there, I noticed that I'm like, I do not feel anxious. So maybe this work is working. Maybe the reparenting that I was doing, I'm proud of you. You're worth it. You're enough. Maybe all of this stuff. Maybe it's like, oh, maybe I am soothing that deep down inner thing. Now, at the meeting, I said something. I said one thing. Actually, I said two things. A total of like 4 words. And the first time I said something, I realized, oh, I shouldn't have said anything. Like, there was a person speaking and I tried to I thought they were stuck on a word and I was trying to help out with the word. I should have just let them, I should not have, and so I was like, ugh, and then I was like, okay, wait, just calm. It's cool. It's not a big deal. No one's thinking about this. No one is sitting around judging you right now. And if they are, it's not a big deal. I noticed in my body. The second time I said something, I was flush and my heart was beating like crazy. And I was just and I was able to just really go, wow, I am really deregulated right now. So something about what just happened was really triggering for me. But I was able to observe it, and it really, there was a sense of control, and almost compassion for myself. Oh, look at this human having this really difficult, dramatic response. Like, oh boy, it's all right, man. It's okay. So, and that's just a couple of them. I'm also have been doing a better job of just when I find myself kind of like leaning in and going, ooh. I had I was told yesterday, kind of like, someone said, look, you are voraciously working on yourself, and that's going to help you. You're doing so great, and you're really being courageous, but I don't remember what they said, but what I heard was like, there's no urgency. Like, you striving, you wanting and reaching for growth is a cause of half the suffering. Your desire to get there is a huge source of suffering. If you can let go of that desire, half your suffering will go away. And I thought, with no urgency. Even as I say that out loud, I feel a calmness in my chest. No urgency. And it's interesting because, like, the no urgency is kind of the same thing as slow down. But slow down doesn't land with me. Slow down. Slow down. Take it easy. But no urgency. So that's been like a mantra. No urgency. No urgency. And the other big one that came from my therapist is, you can't do it wrong. That came up in the breath work. And it was one of the reasons why I had such a liberating experience, because I generally am worried, am I doing this right? Am I doing this right? Am I doing this right? And oh my gosh, okay, I'm all over the place, but I'll see if I can tie this together, and then we can share more of. So yesterday I was looking at the river that was flowing through the canyon, and I'm like, and I was kind of like, where should I sit? Should I sit here? Should I sit here longer? Is I sit here long enough? And then I was watching the bubbles kind of form and reform, and I was like, oh, it's like there's got to be a metaphor in there somewhere. And then I kind of pulled back, and I'm like, dude, you are trying to look at a river right. And I was like, oh my God, you're trying to do it right. I'm trying to be, look and act and feel the right things as I am looking at nature. And I was like, holy shit, how often am I doing things? Like in a yoga class, if I go in, I'm like, did I put my mat in the right place? Did I do this right? Did I do this right? Did I do this right? Am I parallel parking? Did I do that right? Are people looking at me? Did I do it right? And it was like, so all like, no urgency. You can't do it wrong. No urgency. You can't do it wrong. Oh, I feel that. I felt that into my toes. So, I hope this sensation lasts, but hey, this too shall pass. You never know how long and this lesson will sit and land. I am trying to remain unattached, but I am encouraged. If you've been following daily, there have been days when I have been discouraged. In fact, the writing that I posted that got stressed that the wrong person looked at, I wrote about my discouragement. But today I'm feeling encouraged. Progress, not perfection, says Natasha. Yes. Anyone else have any thoughts or observations or gratitude? Thank you, Brandy and Ashley. Thank you, Joyous. And grow wilder together, Meredith. I like that. Thanks, Gerbot. Jolyn, hello. Good morning. I'm glad it's resonating. And in sillier news, I have a family tradition that I've been sharing for years, and it's actually it went viral one year as sharing about it, and now there's a bunch of people that do it online. But I may have been the first person to put it on online, which is, well, first I'll show you this gift I got yesterday. Ingrid gave me this pink Peeps. Now you think that's adorable, but here's what makes it awesome. Inside is little beer bottles. Because my family's tradition is we have an annual beer bottle hunt. When the family stopped getting when we started getting a little bored with, hard-boiled eggs, when my brother and I were in college, my mom started hiding micro beers in the yard, and we had a 6-pack holder with fake grass that we would go get the eggs with. Oh no! So I got a Easter beer hunt. Let me grab this. Now, I'm not drinking right now, but that's okay. The Easter beer hunt involves beer bottles as well as kombucha bottles for the people that don't drink. My mom has not drank for many decades. And then when my grandpa was around, we would hide bottles of Ensure for grandpa and fun drinks. So you can still, the Easter bottle hunt does not have to be beer. It just is a fun, it sounds cooler when you say beer bottle. Ashley saying, grateful for that message. I'm about you can't do it wrong. I'm constantly stressing about doing things right and worrying about people judging me. It's exhausting. I don't even notice I'm doing it most of the time. So in case this is helpful for you, I don't have the specific memories about it, but through my therapy and things, I believe that some of that you're not doing it right, worried about doing it right, it's connected to people pleasing, connected to need for external approval. These things, I believe, are all related to a attachment trauma, young childhood, 3 to 5 years old probably, of not getting approval when I sought it, or feeling like when I, in some way, a attachment figure, perhaps my father, making me feel like there's a right way to do it, and if you don't do it right, there are consequences. I will be less, love you less. Now, not that he would love me less, but that was the perception of a child. If I don't do this right, if I act too loud, if I bother him at the wrong time, if I don't do X, Y, Z, that I'm less worthy. And in case I haven't said it enough, my dad is awesome, and he did a great job, and he is a badass. I am so honored and proud to be his son. He also is a product of a different time, and followed the scripts and the directives that he was given like a badass. Now, you can do the best you can, and you still can leave trauma marks on your kids. It's just what happens. You have no. It's just the way it is. That's the cosmic joke of parenting. You know, you try the best you can, and you give your kids baggage that they got to work through. So, in case that's helpful, I share that. But then again, I don't know for certain. I'm just trying to make sense of things, and which is why I've been digging into reparenting and trying to soothe that deep down need, and trying to redirect that reaction. And if the last 48 hours have been indicative, it's might be working. Good morning, Anne. Anne saying the beauty of life is that every day is not the same. Yep, that's true. And Izzy saying if you want to learn how to slow down, try Tai Chi. I hear wonderful things about Tai Chi and Qigong and meditation and yoga and Vipassana, and I am trying to do as much as I can. Oh, but you've got a Tai Chi workshop coming up, right? If you want to post a link to that or a course, I would love to feel free to share it. Randy saying, isn't it crazy how things from that early in childhood that we don't even remember have such an influence now? And Gerbot saying, I think that's why it's called the formative years. And it's really, yeah, it's kind of a bummer that so much of our personality is formed so young. When our parents don't know what the fuck they're doing, and they're overwhelmed, and and there's just chaos, and it's like my brother was telling me about parenting that he's having to do with his teenagers, and how he's trying to be, trying to struggle with what can I do to guide and help him at this age when he's so independent. It's kind of like, they're done. I mean, they're pretty formed at this point. You can just be an advisor. You can support, and you can have boundaries, and you can have structure and feedback, and be an advisor, but the formative years have passed. Good morning, Steve. Steve, good morning. Love you. Oh, Ashley said, I've always wanted to try Tai Chi. And Al says, chai tea works well too sometimes. I am drinking some mud water. I am on my 30th day. Is that right? 30th day of no caffeine and, well, no coffee. There's a little caffeine in this. And no intoxicants or stimulants. By my definition, like I said, there's caffeine in this. And I don't consider microdosing to be an intoxicant, or even major dosing. I don't consider psychedelics to be depending on what you call psychedelics, to be intoxicants. I consider ketamine to be an intoxicant, but not mushrooms or MDMA or DMT. Those are not intoxicants, those are psychedelics, which are still part of my therapeutic regime should I choose. You're right, it's 29. So the thing is, It's it's 29 until 8 o'clock tonight, I think, or something like that. So it's a 30th day, 29th. Yes, 29. You're right. Thank you for holding me to it, Natasha. Um, so I am super proud to be here with you guys today. Thank you for sharing your gratitudes and your support and listening to my tale. Some days I'm not nearly this chipper, but I like it when I am chipper. Those are good. I'm trying to really embrace the idea of being comfortable with discomfort and okay with boredom. That's something I've been really good at. Like I normally listen to a lot of Netflix or watch a lot of Netflix, and I listen to podcasts like whenever I'm driving, and I'm trying to like not distract myself when I'm driving. There's still a few books that I will listen to, but I'm trying to have silence and I'm trying to have music at times and just allow myself to be and think instead of constantly trying to keep myself entertained. Trying to work through this attention addiction. Baby steps. We'll see how much I stay off social media today. I got my taxes laid out behind me, so I'm going to work on that today. Good times, right? Joyce is grateful for this practice and the timing of it so I can take my clocked out break and get off the most wanted for not taking lunch breaks at work. Well, win, win, win. Al saying he loves his noise canceling headphones for the same reasons. Thank you, Gerbot, saying I'm grateful for sharing the journey of becoming a better human with us. So I just wrote, speaking of being a better human, first I'll answer. Natasha says, I can't even sleep without podcasts. So my pre-sleep lately, sometimes I listen to little ASMR, but lately I've been listening to my own affirmations. So every night I listen to like a 15-minute of my voice saying affirmations. If you would like the link to that, send me a private message and I will send it to you. This morning, I recorded a morning gratitude that's based on a Tony Robbins morning practice that was given to me by the crystal sound healer that I went to. He gave me, this is what you should do every morning. And I realized that I kind of get stuck in the middle of like, so I wrote out a script for it that I'm going to record so I can kind of guide myself through it in the morning instead of having to like look at the piece of paper every day. Luann, good morning. Luann is grateful the power is back on and the sun is peeking out. Lori is grateful that I'm not working my butt off in a tax office this year. Yeah. Oh, about sharing my journey and being a better person. So I just this morning wrote up a thing. I had a Facebook memory come up from 12 years ago that said, I was in a men's group, and it said, they were asked the group, are you better off in partnership or alone? And I said at the time, I feel I'm better off by myself. And I don't even have a goal of to be in a relationship. And I realized, as I'm reading this from 12 years ago, I'm like, I've changed. I do like being in a relationship. Although I don't think I have really been thinking about long term. Like I really have not had the faith or the belief that I could be in a, rest of our lives relationship. And part of my current dedication to my growth is realizing that I'm not the person that I need to be in the relationship that I want to have. So, isn't to say that doesn't say I'm going to that I'm going to wait until I'm that person to be in relationship. I might grow into that person while being in a relationship, or I might continue to evolve in multiple relationships. But I realized that the things that I needed to work on in myself were the reasons why I could not imagine myself being in a serious long-term relationship. So I now believe that I do want that. It doesn't necessarily mean monogamy, but it does mean a commitment to someone. And that requires some personal growth. So thanks for letting me share with you. Good morning, Faith. Good morning. Luann sets aside 15 minutes before bed to read a good book, calms me, and promotes great dreams. That's a good idea. Oh, well, wherever you are, you beautiful people, let's head off into the world with this awareness that we are not alone and that life is this wild ups and downs, and try to remember that this too shall pass, good and bad. And there's no urgency, and you can't do it wrong. So wherever you are, let's give each other a big old hug, give a squeeze, and feel yourself being held by one another. Squeezing me as I squeeze you, sinking into that shared humanity. We're all so much more alike than we are different. So as we sink into that oneness, take a deep breath and hold it at the top, and squeeze, and release. On behalf of Grandpa Caleb and all of you, thanks for being here for this gratitude gathering, this love morning, and being a part of Hug Nation. Thank you, love ambassadors. Love you. You can always send me a personal message about anything. And you can check out johnston.com for a free sticker offer, my newsletter, info on my Patreon, t-shirts, etc. Love you. Have a beautiful day. And thank you, sincerely. I love you.